Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Expedition Dogman. My name's Jamie. I'll be your host for this evening. Tonight, I'd like to talk about something that I've been researching for a while now. Do dogmen migrate? Well, there's a short and a long answer again to this particular question. The short answer is, I do believe they do. The long answer is the way we're going to go around it. They do, but then the question remains, how are they doing it? How do they migrate? How are they getting around the world? Well, let's look at this from a normal perspective. Normally, things are not interdimensional. Now, where dogmen are concerned, you've got two different types of variants. You've got the paranormal ones, and you've got the flesh and blood ones. And it's the flesh and blood ones, it's how are they migrating around the world? To me, it's a difficult one to answer. So let's look at it from the point of perspective of country by country basis, first of all. In America, as you know from when we talked to Cisco, these things start off in the south and they head upwards into Canada, touching different breeding colonies. Now, yeah, fair enough, that's easy enough to accept where America's concerned, but how are they doing it across the world? How are they migrating from country to country? Now, if you remember when we talked to Lieutenant, he mentioned how they're crossing the ice caps at the top in the South Pole, going across the ice stretches and then down into different countries. Okay, fair enough, if we're heading for mainland Europe, could explain how some of the sightings are going on over there, but how are they getting to the places like the United Kingdom? Now, I was on with Shane Michael Crisp the other day, shout out to you, my friend, and we was on about it, about different breeding colonies of the dogman, and how did they get to the UK in the first place? Well, my personal belief on the matter is that they came over to the UK during the Ice Age, and then they just got stuck here, settled down, and created a breeding colony in two maybe three different places. And they are migrating up and down the United Kingdom through different spots. You've got the Walled Newton Triangle, you've got Barmston Drain and Bridlington, that I believe is one big breeding area. You've got Cannock Chase, and then you'll probably have somewhere in the Highlands, I'm not too sure on that one, but that's it. And these different breeding colonies, yes, they're territorial in nature, but they're interchanging between each other, and that's how I believe they're getting around. But do I think these dogmen are from abroad? No, because how can they be? How can they be coming from America? Well, that touches on to the other part I just mentioned a few minutes ago, about the interdimensional theory. Because, to be honest, I don't believe on the air theory where they're popping up out of caves, because I've mentioned this before. How can they be? How can they be doing this when down in the middle of the earth it's quite hot? How can they regulate their body temperatures to match that to go around? That's just absurd. But it goes down to what you believe, especially when it comes to the interdimensional theory of these creatures. Is it a case they're just popping through the ley lines and appearing and then migrating up and down? It's possible, but on the other hand, it is a bit far-fetched. Especially when I personally believe that these creatures were here before us, and that's how they're doing it. So, what do you think? What do you honestly believe about the dogman? It'd be interesting. Please do leave a comment down below about that one. But saying that, all the researchers I've been talking to, they all believe that dogmen migrate. So it leads me to believing the theory that the dogman itself has been in all these countries since before humankind came to this planet. As we all know, my theory on how the human race came to be, I believe that Dogman and Bigfoot were here first. So it is plausible to think that these creatures have been nesting in all different parts of this world since the beginning of time, and they just have a natural progression pattern. But this does raise something slightly interesting, to be fair, right? Normally, they avoid humans. They normally hide out in the countryside away from us. Why are they being spotted more in the cities? Well, that goes to the point of the fact that we're encroaching onto their territory. The more we're expanding and getting rid of these woodlands, they're thinking, sod you. We're not going to run away and hide from you. We're just going to walk about your city. We don't care. And the thing is, they don't. And this is how they're starting to play sadistic games. Let's face it, we're not the apex predator that we think we are. We think we're the bee's knees. But we're not. There is creatures out there that are a lot more terrifying than humans. And like Dark Waters said, let's face it, there's things out there we should be leaving well enough alone. So, again, should we be leaving the dogman alone? Because we all know, for 100% facts, that they will only show themselves to us on their terms. So, should we be leaving them alone? But, rounding this off for the migration patterns, I do honestly believe they do migrate. And hence the reason we get spikes in different areas. But how are they getting to these smaller countries? That, to me, is still open for debate. Are they actually interdimensional? Or is it a case they're actually travelling through ice caps? Or was it through the Ice Age? Out of all of them three theories, I personally believe the Ice Age theory. Because even over here in the UK, we have reports of dogmen pups. So it shows that they've actually been here for quite some time to be able to set up such an intricate breeding policy. So it leads me to believe that they came over here during the Ice Age and that they settled. But what do you think? Do you believe it's theory 1, 2 or 3? I'd be interested to hear your comments down in the description below, and I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while, but I've had major internet issues. But we're back now, so hopefully the broadcasts will be a lot more regular. Please do subscribe if you're enjoying this content. Until next time, my furry friends, be aware of the howl.